Leap of Fate podcast fans. As always, welcome to this week's episode with yours truly, Randy Silver. Leap of Fate is all around overcoming adversity, life challenges, and making sure you can be successful in your life, whatever that will be. We give you the skills, the knowledge, the ability to do it. As you can see this week, I'm on the beach. Actually, I'm not. Zoom virtual background. If you're watching on YouTube, again, please go to YouTube. We have so many videos out there. If you're listening on audio, thank you so much for always listening on audio as well. This week, solo episode. I want to give you an update on my life. The last time I did a solo episode, I got let go from my C-suite job. That was in June. The episode is one of my highest rated episodes. So many people reached out and said thank you so much for all the transparency you provide. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for sharing such a tough situation in your life and how you were able to overcome it and what you're doing to overcome it. So now I feel like it's been 3-4 months. It's time to give you an update on what I'm at. So this episode of Leap of Fate this week is going to be giving you an update in my life, the new job that I recently just started, the update on the Leap of Fate channel, update on the podcast, and everything to make sure that we stay connected. You, me, La fans, ride and dive. Again, before we dive straight into it, I want to say thank you to my fans. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support, appreciate everything that you give me in the comments, in the feedback, in the text, all of it. If you like this content, please help me spread the Leap of Fate message. Please do please subscribe to the YouTube, on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Google Podcast. If you're listening to, please do rate, please do hit that like and the subscribe button. Please give that review. It helps me grow the audience. Appreciate you guys so much. Please go follow me at RandySilver09 on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, all of it, or at Leap of Fate Pod, same type of stuff. Please, thank you so much. It means the world to me. Love y'all. La fam, ride and dive. We got the little business part aside, so let's dive into it. What has Randy been up to the past couple months? So as a quick recap, so you all know, it was what episode number was that? Just want to make sure I say it correctly. Episode 54, I've been let go from my C-suite job. I was the chief revenue officer at an e-commerce company called Neat A/B Testing. I had left Cisco in early February to go start that position. I got poached, asked to come over. Good feeling, of course. And after 3 months, they let me go. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. They weren't prepared for a sales leader, a sales rep. The company needed to mature the product more and marketing more. Again, go back to episode 54 if you want to dive into it. So they let me go. I also talked about that I was provided a severance for 3 months after that for being let go. So I was able to kick back, relax, have a fun summer, and plot out my next step. A lot of people aren't afforded that opportunity to really get the moment to take a break, relax, and chill. Just chill. I didn't have to worry about where's the income coming from. Transparently, I'm not making any money off this podcast. I'm not making any money off my YouTube. To make money on YouTube, you need to have 1,000 subscribers and hit 4 hours of watch time in your videos. I am at 196 subscribers, 197, and above 1,000 hours in watch time. So I'm not anywhere near the opportunity where money can be made. However, again, that's why I say please do rate, please do like, please go subscribe, because it really does help grow the channel. It helps me do that full time, which would be awesome, of course, but I'm not there. But it gave me time during the summer because I got that severance to kick back, relax, to reset myself. I started college, and then out of college, I started work 2 days after. So I never had any downtime, didn't go travel anything. And then I started the job out of Cisco 3 days after I left Cisco. So the 3 months of downtime was just so nice, kick back, relax, and reset myself. It really helped me with the Leap of Fate message, especially as we talked about in the episode with Julia, finding your Ikai in episode, what was that? how to listen to your intuition to find your ikigai in episode 64. If listen to yourself, she got the same opportunity to just what did I want to do? So the first thing I wanted to do was sleep in. I know it sounds super easy. I know it sounds super simple, but just sleeping into 9 o'clock, I never have done that. I'm always up 6:37 for work. I was managing Asia, Europe, Americas. So I had to be up early to be with my team. So I felt myself just kind of already being healthier and getting a healthier mind, body, soul back by sleeping in. I know this sounds very generic. I know this sounds very blessed and humble because I really am. But that really just kind of helped me reset my soul. So I slept in at 9 o'clock pretty much every day, which was great. The next thing I would do is then, I was trying to figure out what is my next step. Do I want to go into sports broadcasting? Do I want to try to get a marketing job, a sales job? So I really sat some time. I meditated a bunch and just went down to the beach. Again, I live in San Diego by the beach. I wish it was this beach right here. This looks like Hawaii. And I was able to just hang out, relax, and figure out what I want to do with my life. And I came down to, you know what? I wanted to get a sports job. I wanted to get something that if I could get paid to watch sports every day or put the product on the field, that would be my dream. That or podcasting. You all tell me I'm a great podcaster. I ask great questions. The editing I do, the social media, all of it is really good. So how can I monetize myself into some podcasting network? So this is where I wanted to start. Is I wanted to figure out how do I turn myself into a podcaster or get into the sports industry. I've only had an IT background, so it wasn't something that I was able to just really do. It wasn't something I was able to, just say, hey, I have those network, I have those connections. So how do I do it? The first things I did, I'm sure many people out there have done the same thing, is I went into Indeed.com, I went to ZipRecruiter.com, I went to LinkedIn, and I really, put myself out there. I had to update my resume. We had an episode about always updating your resume, so follow through on that. That episode, if you want to go back and watch it, or listen to it, just so I can help you guys with it, is episode. Which one was it? How to Advance Your Career, episode 18. That one's audio only, where we talk about how to build your resume up and everything that needs to be successful in business. So I updated everything I needed to do, applied to ZipRecruiter, applied to LinkedIn, the sales part, the job part of it, applied to Indeed, and I started applying to all the jobs, made the preference, trying to have a sports industry job. I tried to apply to podcasting jobs. And I also applied the jobs that would fit me as a global sales manager, skills I've already had, and make that be remote. I knew I wanted to stay in San Diego for if I had to have that type of sales job. But if it was a sports job, a podcasting job, I will go move wherever that is. Now, I'm about to tell you something that's probably going to blow your mind, especially if you're watching the YouTube video you see here. And now I got the Northern Lights background. Love it. I applied to over 200 jobs in probably 30 days. A lot of it is automated using those sites. They fill in information for you based off the information on your resume. You go through and check it. But something unique I did for each job was I created a cover letter. Now, of course, I had a base template for each cover letter, but I had to go in, change the name of the company, different information around it. So it was cumbersome. My goal was to apply to 25 to 30 jobs a day. As I said, I got over 200, so I beat that easily. Some days I did more, some days I did less because of what I wanted to do or what was going on. And it was definitely tedious. There were definitely a bunch of jobs out there. However, drum roll, please. I got zero callbacks for all my work on LinkedIn, all my work on Indeed, all my work on ZipRecruiter. Zero callbacks. I have a pretty good resume, I like to think. I've done a lot. And I was just like, dude, what am I doing wrong? Am I not that compelling as I thought? And this is where I really had to look at myself in two ways. One, that mentally took a toll. You put so much time and effort in trying to get to those jobs, trying to get what you want, and you don't get it. We talk about that on this leap of faith all the time is how do you overcome that adversity? And mentally, it was taking a toll on me that I was didn't get one callback from 200 applications I put in. Now, one of those reasons as well is those types of sites also can be a black hole for HR systems. That's why they say, and we'll talk about that in a second, it's good to go with the connections you have with networking and try to get in via reference, which is preluding to the future. However, in this case, I don't, as I already said, have any references, have any real connections into the sports industry, into the podcast industry. So I just went that way. Did not work. Zero callbacks. Kept doing more applications. Zero callbacks. And why that, as I said, anything that had the podcast industry in it, anything that dealt with the sports that fit my qualifications, anything that dealt with all of that, I applied in zero callbacks. So the second aspect of that is what is up with my resume? I was at NEAT A/B testing for 3 months. So I had a decision. Do I put that on my resume or do I not? Yeah, a chief revenue officer, sick title, C-level title. But if you've only been there for 3 months, that's very fishy. If I've been at Cisco for 5 years, I'm at a company for 3 months, and now I'm unemployed, does that even look good? So in some applications, I did do it. I wanted to do A/B testing. I knew what that was, of course. In some applications, I didn't. It didn't matter. Obviously, it did not matter because I got zero. So I was like, heck, what do I do? And that was pretty much all of June and a little bit of July. And I was like, you know what? What's the next step you can do? You're good at sales. You're good at doing that prospecting. So then I went around and the jobs that I was trying to apply for at these companies, a Nike, a gambling websites for sports bettings, Barstool Sports, a Adidas, all this type of stuff. I tried to find people at that company and ask them if they had an open position on their team or if they knew who the hiring manager was for this. So hopefully I could get a connection in. Doing that, that's very tedious. You go into LinkedIn, you type the company, you try to find the position that's open under the people position, try to find people who would be on that team and reach out to them. Had a couple conversations, but nothing ever materialized from it. So I was like, okay, maybe based off of my skill set, these positions I'm not qualified enough for it. Yeah, I've been a podcaster. I think I do a good job, but a lot of these qualifications were 3 to 5 years podcasting, 5 to 10 years video editing, 6 to 10 years as a sales rep, 5 to 8 years business development. I've never really hit those benchmarks, even though I've been very successful in my career so far. So when it goes through the processing system of an HR system for Rex, it doesn't pop up. I hope this all makes sense because, giving you the thought process what I'm going through, and I know many people like you have gone through as well, my law fans. So then we hit mid-July, and I was like, you know what? I tried this. I still got 2 months. I'm just gonna take a break. I'm gonna spend a couple weeks. I'm gonna just not even get to the application part. I'm just gonna enjoy my summer. So I went to concerts. I surfed every day. I was doing like 2 or 3 day workouts, just having a great time living in San Diego, being with friends, traveling a little bit, shout to everybody. But in the back of my mind, I knew I had a safety plan. And I knew what safety plan, which has allowed me to do it. So the part I haven't talked about again, we talked about knowing the people. You can try to do your own outreach, but people reach out to you and say, hey, positions could be there for you. I made a lot of connections in my career, in friendship, in life, in business. And when I left NEAT A/B and people saw that, a lot of people reached out and said nice things. Some of the things that people reached out about were, hey, Randy, we know how successful you are. We know the type of character you have. We understand your work ethic. We'd love for you to come work for us. We'd love for you to be able to come be our sales leader. come be our SDR, sales development rep leader. Love for you to come be a sales rep, whatever that may be. A couple people like that. Shout out Mike Mahomany, one of my best friends I've known since high school, actually since kindergarten-ish. Yeah, probably kindergarten. Him and his family own a company called Prime Paper. They're based in the LA area. He's like, yo, I love you, man. Like, come be our sales rep. Come help out with this. And like, you and I will take over the world for Prime Paper. We talked about it, hung out a bit about it, and it was such a great offer. And I really appreciate that. I had other people reach out to me via LinkedIn. Hey, we work together via US Cisco. Come work for our company. We love working with you. You'd be a great fit. I had another person, my old CEO, Jacob. Hey, he connected me to his recruiter, and his recruiter got me 3 or 4 opportunities. And I spoke to all of them. They all were very promising. But this is what I told every person that I spoke to. You know, I love what you're offering me, and I'm so humbled. I'm so grateful for you to give me the opportunity to even think that I deserve to be there. And I truly, truly mean that. However, I am not ready to commit to anything until at least Labor Day. And again, we're talking like June, July period, Labor Day, beginning, middle of September. Reason for that is 2 things. One, as I already said, I want to try to find this dream job. I want to get into sports. I want to get into podcasting full time. I want to give myself the opportunity and not rush to something different. And 2, I have this severance, and I'm getting this coming in June, end of July, end of August. Excuse me, beginning of July, beginning of August, beginning of September. So, you know, it's not advantageous for me to go into a job. Yes, maybe I can get some double pay, be it that, but I'd rather just lay low, enjoy some downtime. And everybody, and I mean it, everybody was so okay with that. And they were like, great, dude. Like, we get it. Like, please enjoy your summer, enjoy the downtime. We've all had a very long COVID period. Side note, I hope your family, your friends, everyone staying safe, staying healthy, all that goes with it. So I really wanted to just have some downtime, relax, and enjoy that. Now, if I found a dream job and I needed to move or go do whatever that would do, yes, because you do that for the dream job. However, for these jobs, I mean, I would have been very good at them, but it wasn't the dream, it wasn't the passion that I was looking for. So that is why I decided to take some downtime and just relax. And I did that. Now, there was one in particular that I spoke to. His name is David. David and I are friends. When I was working at Cisco, I worked with David's wife, Diana. Shout out Diana. Shout out David. And we were close buddies. Diana and I were good friends. We worked on the same team. We had the same manager. And we went to our manager. His name was Scott. Wedding in Reno one weekend. David, Diana, myself, a couple other coworkers, we all got a Airbnb in Reno, had a great time at the wedding. David would also come to our happy hours in San Francisco through Cisco a bunch. So I knew David very well. Diana had me connect with David because David works at a company called Oyster HR, and they were hiring a bunch of people. They just got their Series B funding, and Series B, obviously, like when you get that, when you start a company, you start as a seed fund, you try to get money. When you get your first big investment, Series A, get your next big investment, Series B. So they had just got their Series B in early to mid spring, and they were hiring like crazy, hiring operational people, sales reps, sales managers, all that they needed to grow their business to be successful. So Dave and I spoke in early to mid June, and he offered me the opportunity to interview for 2 positions: be his first America sales manager, or to be his America's sales development rep manager. Again, sales manager, full account executives doing straight sales. Sales development rep, what are those people? They're doing more lead generation, inbound, outbound, trying to get meetings for the AEs. So it sounded very promising. I like the idea of Oyster HR, and we'll talk about what they are in a second. However, again, I told him I wanted to just spend some time at home, relax. Let's sync back up in early mid-August if I haven't found that dream job or anything like that. So what is Oyster HR? Oyster HR, and let me do this again if you're watching on YouTube. Let me go ahead and get the background going for you. So 1 second. Oyster HR is a boom. Got it. So now you guys can see it. Great. Oyster HR is a distributed HR hiring company. What Oyster HR does is we are an employment of record, meaning we're the entity and we hire people, or Oyster hires people uh, throughout the world for businesses. So let me give you an example. 1 second. So Oyster HR, say I'm a business in San Francisco, California, and I want to hire somebody in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I don't know the compliance rules that go with it, the legality, the holidays that those reps may need as contractors or as full-time employees. How do I hire someone out there? Oyster HR, you can then work with Oyster. The company will hire Oyster to go ahead and be that employee record. So that Oyster will be that HR software to HR business partner to make sure that you can hire that person in Brazil, in China, in Argentina, and get them fully onboarded, full employee, all that goes with it. Why is that important? Two reasons. One, it gives people around the world the opportunity to work for businesses they never would. As we saw during COVID, the opportunity to work remotely, people love it. They want to be able to do it. And I think people also realize you don't need to be in an office and have workers in that office to get the job done. So Oyster HR saw this and started during the pandemic and has blown up because of it, because it's now connecting businesses in one part of the world with employees in another part. So you're able to work all these types of jobs based off of where you live, not based off of, based off of the skill set you have, not based off of where you live, because I have to be in San Francisco to have the job. And two, Oyster believes in its own mission of trying to help connect workers and employees all around the world. So what does Oyster do? Oyster is a 100% distributed company. What does that mean? That means that everyone at Oyster is remote. There is no HQ. There is no office. I'm based in San Diego. Someone's based in London. Someone's based in Africa. Someone's based in China. Someone's based in Australia. Someone's based in Canada. Someone's based in Argentina, et cetera, et cetera. It's a fully distributed company, which is so cool and so appealing because one, it means everyone gets to be full-time remote. And two, the company moral, the company missions they really believe in worker happiness, workplace culture, all that goes with it. So when David and I spoke in June, you told me all about this and everything we just talked about. I was very intrigued. Now, is this a sports company? No. Is it a podcasting company? No. But it fits my mindset of what I try to go for. One, a company that has a good mission and is trying to change the world. And two, worker happiness and what the worker wants to do to be successful and what the company believes in having a worker. I don't ever want to be back in office. I love working remotely. I love all that goes with it. I love being able to do it. Now, it doesn't mean you're obviously not working 9 to 5. It doesn't mean you're getting up early for meetings, but I love just being at my house. So I'm going to take my screen off really quick. Let me take off this filter for y'all. Again, please go to YouTube. I'm showing so much here. You guys can see I'm here. This is my bedroom. Let me move my water bottle. You got everything right here. You got my closet, and this is my desk. So I got my computer right here. We're on the desk. So I am here, and I'm just going to take the rest of this like this so you guys can see it, because now we're at the mission of what we're doing. So I got to early to mid-August, went over everything. I was still at that point going back to Indeed, going back to LinkedIn, trying to apply to these companies, and I couldn't get anything. Unfortunately, because I couldn't get anything, I had to, what is my next step? 1 second. So as I was saying, Oyster was very compelling. If I wasn't going to get the sports job or the podcasting job, I wanted to work for a company that had the culture I wanted. And just side note, this whole conversation I'm doing right now is top of the dome. There's no notes, no nothing. I'm just free flowing off of what I'm talking about, what I'm thinking. So if it seems a little bit disconjointed, I apologize, but I'm trying to be open again, transparent, and there for you. As you can see on the YouTube, here I am in my bedroom. We're just getting after it, making sure that you're a lot of fans. I'm living the message that I provide you guys. So I spoke to David again in early August. He said all the positions were still open. They're going through the process. Love to speak to you about it. Which one would you prefer? And I didn't want to go back to being an SDR manager. I wanted to stay as a sales manager and grow my career that way, if that's the route I was going to go. So I interviewed with him. All went well. And then in the interview process, I interviewed with a gentleman named Chris, who was the EMEA manager based in London, and then a gentleman named Stefanos, who's based in Argentina. He's based in Greece, who is the SDR manager, the head of it. And then a gentleman named Alex, who's the head of all of sales based in the UK. And then a woman named Maggie, who is a part of the marketing team based in the Bahamas. So again, what is Oyster's mission? A distributed company helping companies hire people around the world. And that's what they are. So I interviewed with 4 people in 4 different parts of the world, which is great. All went well. Did a great job interviewing, talked about my experience at Cisco, talked about my skills as a sales manager, talked about how I love to be people manager, talked about how I can up level the organization and what I can bring. And, when you interview with people, there's a fine line from being a brag, being boastful, and being confident. And the tip for everybody I'm going to say on this call is if you're ever interviewing, doing anything where you want to move to that next level, ask this question at the very end. I know I said that in the podcast earlier. Is there anything that you haven't seen today that you want to still know that wouldn't allow you to move me forward? Or another way to say it is, do you have any reservations about moving me forward through this interview process? If they say no, continue forward, then great, let's go ahead and continue forward. Then I'm looking forward to that next step. If they say yes, okay, then let's take a couple minutes really quickly. What about the interview process? Did I not prove to you that you don't think I can move forward? Anything like that. So that way you're able to continue forward. So I did all that. It was really good. And then I had one final process of interviewing with David and with Alex. And it was a presentation. If I was to become the sales manager for America for SMB mid-market, what would be my 30, 60, 90, 180, 365 plan? So I created a very comprehensive presentation talking about my skills as a sales manager, how I can help up-level people, sales reps to get them promoted, talked about what I built at Cisco and how I can replicate that here at a building startup because I helped build out that cybersecurity team at Cisco, how I could do so much to help build out Oyster. Now, the presentation was really good. My public skills at that point, when I presented, were terrible. And I'm gonna be open. I'm gonna be transparent with you all again because this is who we are. I was sick. I not COVID sick or anything, but I had a terrible dry cough, and I had like a respiratory infection for about a month or two. And all my friends here in San Diego know, like, I would break out in severe coughing. I'd have to go like to the bathroom and hide it. I have to go like put my head in my shirt and I would hide it. And it was bad. And on the interview, 3 to 8 minutes in, it was very, very soon, it came out and I dry coughed all over the place. Like I couldn't breathe. I had to pause my camera and say, give me a second. I ran, I had water, drank all of it. I had to go get more water. Came back. I was teary eyed. I was sweating. I was so embarrassed. And I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. This doesn't happen. I'm sick. I'm so sorry. Respiratory infection. And they're like, take your time. Gave myself a minute, kept going. It happened the second time. A second time. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. It's not how you get a job. Not how you can talk to anybody, just profusely coughing. So that went through. I apologized. They asked if I wanted to reschedule and I felt better. I was like, no, let's get through it. I put so much effort in. You guys are busy. This is my presentation. I'm going to go through it. Thankfully, it did not come back a third time. Relatively was good the rest of the time. And No, did everything I just talked about. And I could tell they're impressed by the presentation. I put a lot of effort into the slides, and if you guys would love to see it, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk about it. But the public part, like you're a sales leader, you're a sales manager. How the heck are you supposed to be able to speak to people and be leading meetings if you can't even do a presentation for an interview? You can't. It's not going to work. So I was scared. I didn't think I was going to get it. However, a couple days later, David called me and said, Randy, we're done with the interview process. We interviewed everybody. We like you a lot. We would like to formally extend you a verbal offer to come on to be the first sales manager at Oyster. So that is where we're going to go ahead and put the Oyster virtual background back on now, which is sick. So I became the first sales manager at Oyster, and I was super excited. This was mid-August, and I was going to start after Labor Day. So it fit my whole timeline perfectly. Now, this leads you to three thoughts. One, hey, Randy, are you disappointed that Oyster is not a sports company? Oyster is not a podcast company. The answer to that question is no. I mean, yes, but no. We always talk about here at Leap of Faith that you need to follow your dreams, follow your goals. There's going to take steps to get to where you want to go. I'm trying my best to get there, but sometimes there's other exterior circumstances that come in your way that you need to take care of. Say health insurance, you need it. We talked about that with my dad's episode. You have a family, you have kids, which, I don't, but you got to provide for them. You don't have enough money in your savings account. You need XYZ, so you need to get a job. So some of the things are the factors you go into when you're trying to get to that dream job. And if you can't get there, what do we do? Like, how do you keep moving up? So all those are obviously a part that you think about. Number two about it is Oyster provided the other aspect I was looking for in a business, as we already talked about. Amazing company culture, remote work, great team. And I really believe that's something that I wanted to be with. So if I was going to go back to being a sales manager, this is what I wanted. Number two, the people at Oyster, again, fully remote all the way around. And I could tell from speaking to each person how they were still able to live their life. So it wasn't now just about the company, but it's what the company provided. Maggie, who I spoke to in the Bahamas, she's like, oh, yeah, I go surfing in the morning. I start work. I take my lunch break, work, go about surfing in the afternoon. David, him and his wife Diana already talked about them. They have their child. They're able to keep the child with them because they're not in an office, so they're able to save money that way. Have their child with them 24/7. Work. For me, they were like, Randy, we love that you do Leap of Faith. We love the fact that you have a podcast. We love the fact that you have a YouTube channel. We love the fact that you live your life in San Diego and you're super active. You go surf, you go work out, play volleyball, all with it. We want you to do all that. This business will not take away. Now, of course, when you're working 9 to 5, whatever your hours are, et cetera, we need you committed, do the job to the best of your ability, which, of course, no questions asked. But go live your life and have fun because we believe in that company culture and that work-life balance. So it really fit me really, really well. And number three, again, what goes with it is the remote aspect. I get to be right here in my room, get to be right here in my apartment, living in San Diego, where I want to be at this point in my life. Now, there's one thing I forgot to mention that I want to bring up was, and only one person, 2 people, 3 people, actually 4 people. How many people know it? Maybe 4 or 5, but originally it was only 2. I only told my parents about this, and I only told my next door neighbor, Dane. You guys know Dane. He's been on all my YouTube videos and whatnot. I almost moved to Orlando. You're probably like, what? Orlando? Sick, right? So I told you, I really want to get into sports podcasting or sports broadcasting, whatever it would be. I couldn't get the sports job that I wanted. So I was like, maybe I need to go back to school and I need to get a master's degree or go back and get a bachelor's degree, sports business, sports broadcasting, sports management, sports marketing, whatever. And I listened to a lot of podcasts, go figure. And on the Scott Van Pelt podcast, SVP Pod, they always do a commercial for the Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting in Orlando, Florida at Full Sail University. Full Sail University is a private school. It's in Orlando, Florida, as I just said, and they have a whole wing of their communications division dedicated to sports broadcasting. If you guys don't know who Dan Patrick is, legend in the sports broadcasting game. He was at Sports Center, ESPN for 20, 30 years. Now is a part of his own network, or I think it may be like NBC, Sirius, something like that. And he sponsored the school. It teaches you everything you need to know about being a sports journalist, a sports broadcaster, in front of camera, behind the camera. They get people from all the different industries in sports to come speak to you, from ESPN anchors, Fox Sports anchors, TNT anchors, all that goes with that. They teach you the in and outs, everything with it. So it fit me perfectly. I'm already doing the podcast or doing the video, very natural. Go learn the in and outs of how to do it. The professional setting, of course. So what did I do? No, went to the website, researched the school. I called them. I spoke to them for about 2.5, 3 hours on the phone. Everything around the curriculum, what it takes, internships, cost, expense, alumni, and they offer two programs. You're either there in Orlando, of course, or you could do it remotely. Remotely was a 30-month program. If you're in Orlando at the place, it's I think a 22-month program. So what are the pros and cons? I mean, Randy, you talked about wanting to be remote. Why not just do that remote? It's not the same. If you're going to do that program, their whole wing is designed as a news studio, production studio. You're meeting with the people there in person. You're networking with fellow peers who want to be in the same position. It's not the same to do that remotely. You totally could potentially, but you want to learn the in and outs. And like, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna go balls to the wall. I'm gonna go dive in. So I was like, I'm not gonna do this remotely. I need to do it. So I had a lot of soul searching, and this was probably mid July, end of July, beginning of August. And I was really thinking about it. And they had their program starting October 1st, November 1st. You could join either one. And I did a lot of meditation, a lot of thought process. I thought about it. And I would say it was probably 85% of the way there to saying yes. But there's a 15% of me that was really saying, stay in San Diego. You'll find what you want. It's not the right time to go to Orlando. It was during the pandemic. I didn't want to have to move across the country during the pandemic. I wanted that work-life balance. If I was going there, I was going to be doing what I loved and what the passion was. I wasn't going to be able to like have fun, go to concerts, travel, all with it. You're on that grind of having to study, you know, and I wasn't ready to give that up yet. And I had to make the choice. And a lot of you out there probably made that same type of choice. Like, do I go for it as we talked about, or do I find something that allows me to have the same type of passion, same type of dream, same type of fun, but isn't what that would be? And I chose that I wanted to stay in San Diego and be here with my friends in San Diego, be close to my parents who live in North San Diego in Orange County, still live by the beach, and work on this podcast, work on Leap of Faith, continue to grow that out. Because if I was doing that, probably can't do that because I'm so grind in school, I wouldn't have the time. And I believe that I can really make this something. All y'all out there tell me I got something here. I love it. You guys like the videos, the podcast. I want to continue to grow this. So after a lot of soul searching, I decided to turn down that opportunity to make that happen. Stay here. That will be there year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. And if that's what I want to choose to do then, I can go make it happen. But right now, I did not feel comfortable with making that decision, so I stayed here. So that's why I bring that up is Oyster gives me opportunity to do what I just talked about. I chose not to go to Orlando, but Oyster gives me opportunity to work remotely, crush it with Oyster. We're going to help change the world, help getting people worldwide hired with businesses being remote. And I can be remote. I can work on this podcast after hours. I can work on the YouTube channel after hours. I can go travel on the weekends and go make my vlog videos. You guys will see a video coming up where I was at Life is Beautiful in Vegas. I worked in San Diego on a Friday from 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m., 4 p.m. Flew to Vegas, was in Vegas for Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Worked from Vegas on Monday because I'm a fully remote worker. I can work wherever. And flew back Monday night. If I wanted to go to Miami for a week and just hang out in Miami, I could just go to Miami, get a hotel, Airbnb, work remotely. I'm not tied in the office. I don't need to be there. I love that because I'm able to go where I want, when I want, get my job done because that's number one and get it good. But you can live your life. Whew! Give me a second, y'all. I need the water. So let's recap. I actually even don't know how long I'm gone, but let's recap. I'll tie it up a little bit. I'll give us like 5 minutes left if you're still here. Thank you. So I lost my job in May. Had a fun summer, hung out, relaxed, lived my life, reset myself, had a great time. Honestly, mind, body, soul. Worked my butt off applying to applications using Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter. Got nowhere with it. 200 applications, zero replies. One more time. 200 applications, zero replies. I had 5, 6 interviews from references of people who I've worked with or people who reached out to me and said, I like what you're doing. You're a friend of a friend. From those, 3, 4 interviews, and from those, got hired on at Oyster as their first sales manager. So this is a story of how that happened and all the background that goes with it. I started Oyster the day after Labor Day, and I've been there for 3 weeks now. This is Friday evening, and I'm recording this. It was great. It's been great. I love it. It's been super fun. Like I said, everyone's working around the world. All my coworkers are based on my team, Raleigh, Toronto, Austin, Mexico City, Washington, Europe, Africa, and we're all working together. It's a lot of using Slack, a lot of using this program called Notion, everything that goes on Oklahoma City. We're out there. So shout out Austin. So it's great to be able to work with other people around the world. I feel like I've already made a bunch of friends. Definitely harder than having an office in terms of like, it's not a water cooler. You can just go meet people. You have to make the effort to make sure to meet people. You're not in the same room onboarding. So I got to do a bunch of readings. I have to make sure I'm asking the questions, talking to people. I had my first sales call today and, by myself out here. I don't have someone over my shoulder. So how am I going to do that? How do I make sure I prepare myself? It's practice, read, videotape yourself. And I think that's what the world's seeing is you don't, again, need to be in office every day to get the job done, especially in today's day and age. What stuff is out there? You have Zoom, you got Cisco WebEx, you got Loom, all these different programs that allow you to be successful remotely. So I am the sales manager at Oyster. Initially, I am being a player coach. So I'm doing a sales rep role and the sales manager role. Why am I doing both? Because I need to know the in and outs of the product so I can be a good manager. So that way, when I hire more people throughout the next 8 to 12 months, I can train them up. I can answer their questions. I know what they're about to go through, and I'll be there. And it's also important for me to, one, show that I can do it. And then two, as more people get hired, right now I'll initially manage 2 people. Shout out Laney, shout out Tatra. They're fucking awesome. As I hire more people, I will just become strictly a manager. So I'm really excited. I love being a player coach and I'm having a lot of fun. Oyster, again, the mission is unbelievable. Having a distributed workforce, helping businesses hire people around the world, helping people around the world get hired by businesses where they don't live in the same location. I'm going to end this one. That's pretty good. That's a long episode. I don't even know how long I've gone, but that's the update on Randy. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me. As a friendly reminder, again, please do rate, please do like, please do subscribe. Please go to the YouTube. You guys get to watch me talk, smile, instead of listen to my voice. I have so many videos out there, the vlog videos, the how-to videos. What type of vlog videos have I done recently? The do-it-yourself Shane video. Do-it-yourself Landship Customs. Built their own van. We got the Life is Beautiful video coming out. Got my first haircut in 2 years. Won that bet. We have an art show video coming out. I went to Tijuana for a bachelor party. The whole video with that. So much more coming out. So please go watch those videos. Please watch the podcast. It really helps me grow the channel. Shorts go out with it as well. To my audience, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Oyster, I love y'all. You guys have given me some new love being able to help grow the mission of what Oyster is. Again, I understand that this video is a little bit disjointed compared to normal. Next week, we'll bring back the guest, bring it back to being a little bit bigger. We're going to bring back next week. We're going to have After School come on. Mark, our homie, he hit 2 million on YouTube, get an update there. We'll have Sean come back on, get an update on what's happening with Aware, meditation video, and we'll get so many more of those guests you guys love who have overcome adversity and want to share that with you, how they can be successful. Okay, y'all, let's do the sign off. I guess I'm by myself, so stay healthy, stay wealthy, have a good week, Law fans. Love you guys. Until next week, thank you for listening to my monologue. Please let me know what you thought about this. I love you guys. Deuces.